The standard JRPG quest has a few combined factors to deliver an engaging adventure where time seems to fly by and 5 hours quickly becomes 50. It's these experiences that I look for when jumping into a new game, especially the artisan studio developed Astria Ascending, comprised of developers who have worked on some of my favorite titles. It's hard not to look forward to this. Sadly, although epic in scale, quality improvements are needed for this game to truly shine.
You don't like that?
No, of course I like it. I love it. I want more of it.
Astria Ascending introduces players to Ulan, the leader of the 333rd Demigods, a group of warriors assigned to protect the peace and fate of the world. Although this group of 8 is chosen, they all have to accept that their life has a time limit and their power comes at a cost. In this case, they have 3 months left to live, but some strange events begin appearing that cause them to journey across the lands and piece together the disturbances. The story is the absolute highlight of this experience as each character will receive their own backstory, but it isn't until about 10 hours into the game where you'll start to care about them. This is an issue with how the game begins, where the group has already been formed and they set out from there. The characters' backstory is delivered at a steady pace, but it's easy to lose interest in some of them, such as Arpeggio and Alec. I didn't care about either of those two. Exploration takes place on a 2D field where Ulan can visit towns, navigate dungeons, and talk to NPCs. It's rather basic, but the overall design of the backgrounds and environments is excellent. They make the 2D world more distinct, as the more places you visit, the more you understand how it all connects. This shows in the various villages that you see as well, which are more or less the same in what they offer, but stand out thanks to the architecture and style of the environment. Ulan can jump and execute a ring power while in dungeons. Ring powers are collected over time and allow access to new areas. Some of them feature puzzle-like elements, but honestly, they aren't used too much. I often forgot about them until I needed them. Some provided access to new areas in previous dungeons, which are rewarded with new treasure. Battles are where you'll spend a significant amount of time because they are primarily unbalanced. Don't get me wrong, the battle system is fun most of the time, but it's not hard to discover that the system is broken. Enemies have group stun locks and confusion abilities that will wipe out your party in a matter of turns, and you'll rarely be leveled enough for the encounters within new dungeons. The best way to take on new enemies is to first find their weakness and then just attack that as much as possible. By doing this, you'll gain focus, which can be used to charge up an attack. After I unlocked group hitting abilities, I pretty much just relied on focusing with all party members and then charging an ability. This makes battles become repetitious and lengthy, but the biggest issue is that it mostly comes down to having enough items to get you through the fight. Stocking up on revives, omni ethers, and omni potions will allow you to pretty much chip damage any foe until they are defeated. However, as I mentioned, if they manage to stun lock or confuse your entire party, it's a frustrating game over, as you'll have to wait 3 turns to regain control of your units. Each character has a general job class and extra job classes available to them. Each class is tied to Ascension Tree, which allows you to spend SP to unlock new skills and increase that character's stats. This is as important as leveling up, so when grinding for experience, you'll also be grinding for SP to unlock new skills. The only issue here is that with the 8 characters, you'll be spending a lot of time in these menus. I would have loved an auto function for this and even an auto optimize for equipment, because the time spent in these menus adds up quickly. There's a guild for quests within the game that provide more challenging battles and high rewards. It's just something to do alongside your pursuit, but if you're too under-leveled, I wouldn't even attempt these fights. Bosses are okay, but the first encounters hold no weight to the narrative. It isn't until the antagonist is revealed that you'll understand the foes you're facing off against. Still, they are challenging and require a high understanding of what each member of your party can do. Astria Ascending is driven by its characters, who offer some of the better moments of the experience. However, their quest is pretty depressing as they bring up how they know the end is near but still manage to keep true to their goals and fight for the planet. The art design of these characters is excellent, and I appreciated the numerous animations within dialogue and battles. However, I did notice that some of the animations were missing, such as the water attack. The game did softlock on me a few times, but there's a very reliable autosave system in place that seems to save the game at every new screen or before a battle. Often, I would just take on a tough enemy, learn their weakness, die, and then re-enter the battle so I don't waste items. Regardless, the soundtrack of the adventure is fantastic, and the voice acting is decent for both English and Japanese. However, some things the characters say out of context, and you can't skip through the story scenes, so you're forced to listen to the entire lines as they auto-progress. Astria Ascending had me invested in the 25 hours it took to get to the final dungeon. However, this comes with a padded runtime of level grinding, lengthy battles, dungeon navigation confusion, and many menu interactions. So if you begin, prepare not to understand what is going on until about 10 hours into the game, but if you don't have that time, then don't bother. However, those who do get far enough are in for a genuinely fun JRPG experience that only requires a few quality of life improvements. Noisy Pixels giving Astria Ascending a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixels.net. Noisy Pixels run by Kirby Gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.